I just got back from a great vacation. I traveled to British Columbia, Canada, with stops in Vancouver and Victoria. This destination has been on my bucket list for a while, as it's one of the few provinces I've never been to, and I've lived in Canada all of my life. And as wonderful as it was, one of the things I enjoyed the most wasn't actually any of the big experiences I had planned. It was sitting on a bench, people watching. That's it. I sat there and watched people walk by. Nobody knew me or anything about me, or probably even noticed I was there. I was completely anonymous, just part of the scenery. And I realized how much I enjoyed this little insignificant, quiet few moments. And it got me thinking. I've often spent too much time waiting for the big, planned moments, and it's becoming more apparent, to me anyways, that some of the best moments are the ones we don't put on a bucket list at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a bucket list. We should have dreams, places we want to go, things we want to see, and experiences we want to experience. But I've started to wonder if there's a downside to always looking forward to the next big thing. Because if we're constantly waiting for the next adventure, what happens to the life we're living in between until then? And what if the best parts of our lives are the things we almost overlook because they're just ordinary, every day? I know that for me, throughout different times in my life, I've spent way too much time waiting for someday. Someday when I have more money and more time. Someday when everything is finally organized and clean and under control. Someday when I'm healthier, in better shape, and braver, which, by the way, I don't think is ever going to happen. Instead of spending all of my time thinking about the things I want to do someday, I should also have a few lists for the life I'm living right now. So I've come up with those lists, and the first one is the heck yeah list. I think we all need a heck yeah list. This is the list where we give ourselves permission. No milestone or special occasion required. No waiting until we've lost those 10 pounds, and no waiting until everyone else has what they need. And absolutely no waiting for someone else to tell us it's okay. This is the list where we say, heck yeah, I'd like to have that, or I want to do that. Maybe it's something you've been thinking about buying, a beautiful sweater, a new piece of artwork. Or perhaps it's something completely impractical that you absolutely do not need, like that fancy schmancy coffee maker. But every time you see it, you think, oh, I'd love that. Now, I'm not suggesting we all go out and spend money that we don't have. I'm talking about giving ourselves permission to occasionally spend a little money on ourselves without feeling like we need to present a 2-page business case to justify the purchase. Because so many of us are often very good at spending money on everyone else. We can buy the birthday gift or the new toy, but when it comes to us, suddenly we're standing in a store holding a $35 sweater thinking, do I really need this? Well, do we? Maybe not. But maybe we don't always have to need something. Maybe sometimes we can just want something. Maybe we can buy the thing or order the dessert that's way too much money and way too many calories. Maybe we can sit in a cafe with a book and spend an hour or two doing absolutely nothing productive. Heck yeah! I think that's what the whole point is. Not being reckless or irresponsible, just occasionally reminding ourselves that we are worthy of our own generosity and kindness. And we don't need a reason. The second list is my just do the thing list. There are so many things we tell ourselves we'll do someday. I'd love to learn to play an instrument someday. I've always thought I'd write a book someday. I'd love to take a dance class, although in my case, I do think that ship has sailed for everyone's benefit. But you get the idea. We put all of these things on this imaginary shelf called later, and we assume that one day, someday, when the conditions are perfect, we'll finally get around to them. But what if later isn't a date on the calendar? What if later is just a habit? I think sometimes we get so used to deferring our own happiness that we don't even realize that we're doing it anymore. We become experts at saying, maybe next year, or when things settle down, or when I have more money, or when I have more time. And I understand that some dreams really do require planning and time. I'm not suggesting that we wake up tomorrow morning and decide we're going to learn to scuba dive before breakfast. But if there's something we've always wanted to do, maybe there's a smaller version of it that we can do now. Can't travel to Italy? Maybe you can take yourself to a wonderful Italian restaurant on a regular basis, learn a few Italian words, and watch some great movies that take place in Italy, or watch some amazing YouTube travel videos. A lot of the time, most of the fun is in the planning anyway. You can't afford a trip far away? Maybe you can explore a town you've never visited that's only an hour or two away. You'd love to learn something new? Take a night class and borrow a book from a library. Try something and risk doing it badly. We're allowed to be beginners. We don't have to be good at something for it to be worth doing. And we don't have to wait for some grand, magical future version of our lives to finally allow ourselves to experience happiness. Find a way to do the thing. Maybe not the exact thing you imagined and not in the exact way you imagined, but find something like it that you can do now at this time in your life. Because this is the only time we truly have. The no list. Now, opposite, well, maybe not opposite, but across from the heck yeah list is the no list. This is the list of things we're no longer willing to do. No to waiting for everyone's approval, and no to constantly explaining ourselves. No to saying yes when we really do mean no. And no to believing that we have to make ourselves smaller so everyone else can be comfortable. One of the great gifts of getting older is realizing that we don't have an unlimited amount of time to waste on the things that make us miserable. I don't mean that we suddenly become selfish. I think it's more about becoming honest, about what gives us energy and what drains every last drop of it. For me, I'm one of those people who is far more comfortable in a quiet atmosphere than in a loud, busy one. Chaotic social situations are not my first choice. And strangely enough, I very much enjoy being invisible sometimes. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when I was away on vacation, one of the things I enjoyed the most was sitting on a bench and people watching. Just sitting there watching. Nobody knew me. I was completely anonymous, and I loved it. There's something very freeing about being somewhere where absolutely no one knows you. You can just sit there and observe the world and the people in it, and nothing at all is required of you. And I think there's a lesson in that too. Sometimes we spend so much time worrying about how we're being perceived, when in reality, most people aren't thinking about us at all. They're busy thinking about themselves, which honestly is a very good thing. The been there, done that list. We tend to spend so much time thinking about what we haven't done that we forget to think about everything we have accomplished. Maybe you've raised children or built a career or changed careers. Maybe you've survived a difficult marriage twice. And maybe you've started over twice. Maybe you've lost someone you loved and somehow kept going. And maybe you've simply made it through some years that you weren't sure you'd get through. Those are all very real and very worthy accomplishments. It seems so easy to make that mental list of all the things we haven't done yet, and we forget to look back at the person who got us here, because that person has probably done a lot more than they give themselves credit for. And then there's the no bucket required list. Truly, the most important things of all don't require a list. A conversation with a friend that leaves us laughing so hard we can't breathe. A lovely card in the mail. A good book that you don't want to put down. Coming home after being away, and a cat purring on your lap. And if you have a cat, you know what it's like to be cat lap nap trapped. You're not doing anything or going anywhere until you're dismissed. These things don't usually make it onto bucket lists. Nobody says, before my last day, I really want to sit on a couch on a Tuesday afternoon with a cat on my lap. But maybe they should. There's a saying I love, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. And I think that's true. Unfortunately, it works both ways. If you're looking for everything that's wrong, you'll find it. And if you're looking for everything you don't have, you'll find that too. But if you're looking for the good things, if you're paying attention to the little moments, and if you're looking for reasons to be grateful and the little unexpected blessings, you'll find those too. And more of those little blessings will find you. I think it's wonderful to dream of places you want to go and things you want to do. But while you're waiting for those big things, don't forget about today, because there are so many beautiful things we don't have to wait for. If we look for them, we'll find them, or they'll find us. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend your time with me. Until next time, take care.